Okay, we're waiting for that one's Facebook. We're gonna get Instagram going here. We got YouTube. That's gonna be the YouTube one. So if you guys don't want to see this goofy one that's sideways and everything, you're gonna have to go later to the YouTube and check it out. YouTube.com/Tim Janakis, Janakos. Don't knock us until you try us. Okay. Here goes. Checking connection. We're live. Now how do I turn it on? Okay, so when we're doing this, all you have to do is look at the camera, like we have a huge audience out here. Sometimes we do have audience, but lately the audience have been. Look at that, everyone's feet. Hey, feet. Hey, cute feet. Okay, is this one on? That one's on. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 22nd episode of Life from Normal Heights. Wow! We have an opening song by Mr. Dywer, otherwise known as, what was your first name? Michael Dywer. Here we go. Boom.
I don't know if anybody's ever been stuck in Barstow, California for any length of time. Here's a song about getting out of Barstow.
That's what I try to do when I get to Barstow.
I'm walking out on Barstow today.
Oh!
If I had the wherewithal, I'd find another way. It's 114 miles to LA, and I'm walking out on Barstow today. I got here on a wing and a prayer. A pickup truck was out of luck and lost without a spare. I got a job at Tommy's, flipping burgers and chili dogs. Late at night I count flies on the wall.
On the frickin' wall.
Well, I watch old Jim sitting on the curb. Ragged clothes and worn out sign reads mentally disturbed. I give him a couple dollars when I got it, when I can. He may be down and out, but he's still a righteous man.
Righteous man, yeah.
And I'm walking out on Barstow today. If I had the wherewithal, I'd find another way.
Yeah.
Living here's like living on the moon.
Living on the moon.
And I can't get out of Barstow too soon.
Barstow too soon. Okay.
We're disturbing the peace. I hate it when I disturb the peace. It's been so long since I had a friend. I ain't had no loving since I can't remember when. Beauty queen in Wrangler jeans could have her way with me if she'd hold my hand and keep me company. And I'm walking out on Barstow today. If I had the wherewithal, I'd find another way. It's 114 miles to LA, and I'm walking out on Barstow today.
Oh yeah, baby, now.
Thank you.
Wow, this is the earliest we've ever done a show, and that's the first time someone's come up in the middle of the show and insisted we were too loud. And we usually have much louder people. But
Crazy.
That's a manager who someone moved out and they're down there changing stuff out. But I'm actually one of the quietest residents in this place.
Well,
except
good.
when I do my shows, which is rare.
Yeah.
I do it once a week.
Like you can't.
I have neighbors that are super loud over there. I have dogs barking next door, so fucking loud.
You can't be quiet when you're doing the show.
I know. What
You know?
they thinking?
It's like, hey everybody, how you doing out there?
You can't tame people.
We gotta be
You can't
quiet,
tame
but we're
people.
still doing our show.
Okay.
Well,
Just remind me we're gonna shut the window when we sing a song.
oh yeah.
Right
Oh,
now.
that's right.
Yeah. Because then that gives them access to hear.
That's right.
Yeah.
If the windows are closed, they can't.
They
It's
can't.
more soundproof, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so I lived in Apple Valley when I was born,
Oh, all right.
which is very close to Barstow.
It is.
Yes, yeah.
And I just had friends had parties in what was it? Right next to Rancho Cucamonga. Remember the Rancho Cucamonga?
I've been to Rancho
It's
Cucamonga.
bar Barstow. When I went to Rancho Cucamonga when they opened the McDonald's in the 80s, it was the first McDonald's in that whole area. So they had the Kentucky Fried Chicken costume person on the corner, like.
Oh,
I was a
trying to
little kid.
advertise.
I forget what that character was.
Colonel?
No, it was for McDonald's. They had some chicken McNugget
Oh.
character.
Oh,
They had
I don't
Ronald
remember
for a while.
that.
No, it was way after Ronald. But anyway,
Remember.
how long did you live in Barstow?
I didn't. I've just been trapped
You've
there.
been
a few
there.
times.
118 miles, 115 miles.
If your car breaks down on
Well,
a really
if you're-
hot day,
oh.
it'll burn up.
Yeah, and it's
Some
not
places.
good. It's not good to get stuck
It's a
there.
desert.
For any length of time, don't get stuck there. That's my advice to you. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Do not get stuck in Barstow, California.
Whoa. I was driving through. I think it was through Barstow. You have to go through the Flagstaff from Orange County. I think you go through Barstow. You go over the Grapevine, right? And you
Yeah,
go-
it's the old.
Flagstaff.
It's the old Route 66.
every time you keep seeing like this is Route 60. As you're going down the old
Mhm.
whatever that.
Well, what is it? 10
10. It
Or-
says Route 60.
or 15?
15.
15, you're going like
10
to
is south.
Vegas.
Yeah.
10 goes kind of a little straighter.
So you have more songs about traveling, or what are your most of your songs? about?
I do like songs about everything. I mean,
That's
I
it.
do. I got songs about old tragic love songs. I got songs about this, that, and the other. I mean, it's just,
Do you have them all up here, or are they recorded?
No, I got a lot of them are up here, but I've got a bunch of them on an iPad
Oh wow.
in a music program that I use called OnSong, and it's got like I've got 600 songs of mine in a certain book. And then I've got various other artists that I cover too.
Okay.
Everything from.
So what are some of your?
Well, I love to
biggest
cover
influence?
like Neil Young. I
Okay,
love
that's
to
what I do
cover
Hold on, huh?
Ah,
Johnny Cash.
What is this one? I forget how it goes. Oh shit! What is it?
What are you trying to
Southern
play?
Man.
Oh,
better
Southern Man, yeah.
Keep your head.
Yeah,
I
he
did
wrote that one.
I
He
like
was
that
with
one.
CSN. Yeah, that's good. But I cover CSN. I cover
Okay.
CCR. I cover Bob Dylan. I cover Springsteen.
For people that are in their 30s or less. See, those are Crosby, Stills, Nash, or Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, which I like.
Or
the one with
CCR, which is Creedence Clearwater Revival.
And they wrote about that song. I used to do that song too. At my
They wrote
shows.
Fortunate Son. They wrote Who'll Stop the Rain.
I did Who Stopped the Rain. You
Yeah.
know what that song is about? No. Have you ever seen The Rain?
Have you ever seen The Rain?
That one, you know what it's about?
No.
It's about dropping bombs on Laos and Vietnam
Oh,
and
okay.
I
Cambodia.
wonder if Prince got influence from that. With Purple
Oh, of
Rain.
course, of course.
Purple Rain.
Probably.
Purple
All
Rain.
the artists in the 80s, if you ask them, it was David Bowie,
Yep.
CCR,
Yep.
Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Grateful Dead, all the big hits of the 90s. They listened to all of them.
Yep.
They couldn't have made the music they made if they
Without-
didn't.
Nope.
Yeah,
They
influence.
couldn't have escaped it
No.
because it was that was it.
Yeah, you had to listen to
that was the airwaves.
So, where do you live now?
I live in La Mesa,
Oh,
La
okay.
Mesa Village.
I deliver there all the time.
Yeah, right off of the boulevard, right off of La Mesa Boulevard and Spring Street, in that little area there.
This time of year, it's nice. When it gets super, 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 super hot, I can't go there. It's like, coming up.
Oh yeah.
Coming up.
July,
It's,
we're in
it's
July,
getting hotter.
basically.
It's getting warmer. But
Yeah.
but I played this weekend down in Borrego Springs, and it was
Oh
hot down
shit,
there.
yeah.
So,
Is that like
Ah.
what do you call Indian reservation? Or?
no, it's a desert town. Down just east, like down the hill from like Warner Springs.
Is it close to Vegas?
No, no, it's not really close to him.
Oh, is
No,
it
but
desert land?
it is desert. It's extreme desert.
So Idlewild is where Timothy Leary had it. One of
Yeah.
his house. My dad used to
Up
sell
north, right?
for Timothy Leary.
Yeah.
That's why he named me Timothy.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, they were living in Big Bear when I was born, but there was no hospital in Big Bear. So they took me down the back of the mountains to Apple Valley because I was close to the hospital. My dad was in a milk truck, high on LSD, while I was coming out of my mom coming down the mountain.
Oh, whoa.
No wonder you are the way you are. No wonder.
Yeah, they bolted LSD at the time I was conceived and during and after, so I'm sure that.
You got a little bit of like some of that brain activity got jumbled up a
there's
little
a little
bit.
bit there. There definitely is.
So I'm gonna try to sing quieter and hopefully she's not gonna get mad again.
Yeah, I'm gonna
The
have to
manager-
sing that.
Okay, I'm gonna do a song. Just do you do lead?
Again.
Can you do a little A minor?
Yeah.
This is when I won a song competition in Japan. Blue skies now. Okay, here we go. Don't wanna write about the blue skies now. I don't wanna see you smile. I just wanna feel your heart and swim through all your dark clouds and let them see the lights. Then it goes to C. I wanna look into your eyes, know that someone's there. Feel I'm not a cyborg in an adolescent's head. And if I made you cry, perhaps we felt the same. Maybe the pain inside can be cleansed by the rain. I just thought I'd say a word, even if that word I knew you wouldn't like. Selfish isn't what I meant, but the walls you built around you are keeping me outside. Back to chorus. I wanna look into your eyes and know that someone's there. Feel I'm not a cyborg in an adolescent's head. And if I made you cry, perhaps we felt the same. Maybe the pain inside can be cleansed by the rain. It sounds so much better when I have a little strumming on the side. That's great. Woo! So
Yeah, nicely done.
when did you first start writing songs?
Oh, I've been writing songs since I was about 13.
Oh, cool.
I've been writing a long time.
Wow. I wanted to be a singer-songwriter since 10. That was my life dream.
Yeah.
And I tried taking started playing trumpet. I started playing saxophone, guitar, piano, saxophone. I think I said that twice. French horn, did I say that one? And taking every music class, reading every music book from the library I could possibly get my hand on to figure out how to be a songwriter because I knew I was going to be one of the greatest songwriters in the world
Right.
at 10 years old.
Right.
But then I kept writing parts of songs, and every time I almost get like a bridge or a chorus, I couldn't figure out how to resolve it or how to finish it or how the lyrics would go. It was like I got this writer's block halfway into the song every time. And then at age 25, I was so depressed, and I had destroyed all my artwork. I also did painting and sculpture and drawings. I did a lot of artwork, but when I was about 18, I decided I'm either going to go with art or I'm going to go with music. I can't do them all because I have no social life. I was just spending so much time on both of them. So I burned all my artwork, and I just tried, and I just said, I'm just going to do music. So by the time I was 25, I hadn't finished yet. 15 years of this obsession. Because my mom loved David Bowie, and I thought I would be like the next David Bowie. And ended up, I set a date to kill myself or to quit my religion. Either one was a death threat to me. I felt. So right before that deadline, I was driving home from LA, and I fell asleep in Compton and took my car off the off-ramp, running into the Bellflower. And I went to Compton Memorial Hospital and lost my hand and went out the window and saved my life. And I had a concert the next week on the saxophone and guitar, and I couldn't feel the tips of my fingers. So, in the hospital and after the hospital, I just somehow, like, whatever was holding me back from going, like, I would get into the song, it was almost like the song was downloading into me, and then it would stop, and I couldn't get past it. A whole song came through, and I wrote the whole song. And I performed it at a Buddhist meeting, and everyone's like, well, you got to write another song and everything. I'm like, oh, it took me 15 years to finally break through, write my first whole song, and I was like so worried. But every once in a while I'll have writer's block, but then I'll go for not writing the song for a little while, and all of a sudden 4 or 5 songs will come. And I'll go. The most incredible time is when I went to go study in Japan in 2004. I started writing a song every week almost the whole 4 months. And I'd never done like, and it's just they were coming out, they were downloading. It was like I don't know where they were coming. They were complete songs. And then I'll go with like 2 years not writing, and then a song will come to me. And Mick Jagger said that in an interview too, that he feels like he didn't write any songs, even though he wrote most of them or the band wrote them. It's like they came through him.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel that way?
Like, I do feel like that. Okay. Sometimes I start writing and I don't know where it's.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like I'm not actually thinking about it. I'm not trying to come up with clever lines or phrases. It's just lines just start to come, and then you write them down as you're going along, and sometimes the lines work and sometimes they don't, and sometimes you have to sort of massage the lines, so that they work in the song.
Yeah.
You have to
I
work with lyrics
that
that sort of may rhyme or may not rhyme, that kind of sound alike, that work. So I mean, it's a process though, and it's a craft. And like I went to a songwriting seminar years ago when I was a young guy, way young, and Gordon Lightfoot was teaching, and he said that he advises songwriters to write something every single day. He said it may be great, it may be crap, it may be anything in between.
And it doesn't have to be a song. You can write a poem, you can write a dream you had, you can write a goal.
That's what he says. And he says, if
out.
you write something every single day, what you're doing is you're honing your craft. And it doesn't even have to be a complete song. It can be like a phrase. It can be a line. It can be like 5 words. But something will come from it. And then another thing,
Paul McCartney said he wrote ham and eggs. My mom can make me ham and eggs.
Right?
And he just loved that. He woke up with that.
With the melody.
And then later he's like, okay, that's weird. I gotta make it something cool.
Yeah.
And then it became one of the best songs
ever. It was
ever.
such a great song, Yesterday, such a great song. But another thing to do is to take like a newspaper or magazine or something and cut up phrases.
David Bowie does that.
Cut up phrases and mix them around and make
that's inquisitive.
Make a new.
David Bowie used to just pick. He would cut out a bunch of verbs, put them over there, cut out a bunch of nouns over there,
and he'll
put them
just
over there,
and then you just
move them a little, and then you
together.
could change whatever comes out. But
Right.
I was teaching I teach vocal lessons and I teach guitar and piano, but I know I want to teach teach songwriting I feel that is a lot of people. They start writing a song and they feel they start judging it.
Yeah.
And
That's the first mistake.
That's what killed me for 15 years.
That's the first mistake. You
you
can't
judge it. It's just words coming out.
It's
it doesn't have
it's
to
a
be
piece of
anything.
art. It's a work of art, and who's to say what's good art and bad art? You know, I mean, it's all in the eye of the beholder. It's all in, you know, somebody. This guy may listen to your song and think, "Well, that's terrible." And another person will listen to the same song and say, "That's amazing."
Some of the biggest bands, the songs that they thought were not going to be, they even got them off the album, and then at the last minute they put them on Toto.
Yeah.
Africa song.
Mm-hmm.
They recorded all the songs for the album, and they're like, we recorded that song, no, don't put that in. It's like, okay, just put it 7. They put 7 on the album.
Right.
They didn't really want it, but the producers said, we put one more.
Right. Right.
I think it had 11 songs, they wanted 12.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. And that's the one just blew up, bigger than any other, and they didn't like it. They thought it was goofy. They were just kind of joking.
Yeah.
In the studio, they were saying like all different words behind the Africa, like "It rains down in Africa." You could hear them saying all these other words that were just joking because they thought the song was stupid.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you never know. Right?
Different perspectives, right? That's why having other people home in.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. That's very true.
So what would you say to someone? Well, you already did. You said just do something every day. I find myself, I wrote a novel and I wrote some other books. One of them is, I wrote a novel there. And the novel that you read over there. But I found when I was writing my novel and my other books that either reading a lot of other books or writing will get me through any writer's book. Just writing.
Yeah. Yeah, that helps a lot.
My life story
just
or something.
Reading something else.
Or reading,
and it just takes you out of your head and just puts you somewhere else. And then when you come back, it's kind of like your mind is fresh.
And sometimes when I don't focus on ever writing and I just go do my life and take care of stuff, then the song will just slip out.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I think if you try so hard to do it, sometimes it's too much pressure on your subconscious mind. How about medicinal plants? Have you found those helpful or not helpful in writing?
You know, I've tried. You know, I've smoked dope and written, and I've not smoked dope and written, and it doesn't help one way or the other.
Okay.
I don't think. I just think.
For me, I've never been able to.
It works on its own.
Okay.
You know?
For me, when I am stoned, I can write weird stuff, only little parts I can never finish.
Yeah.
And then I leave those away, and then when I'm sober someday, I find little pieces of those, and I go, "Oh, this is a whole song." And I can the whole song will come out, but not while I'm stoned.
My mind goes off on
so
many
different
normally
directions.
write stuff. I normally sit down at my computer with my guitar.
So you type it on.
I type it out with like a chart, like a chord chart. And so so as I'm writing the lyrics, I'll be thinking of a melody line and chord structure as I'm going, and then I put my chords in as I go. You know.
I'm one of the people that I've only written. Actually, I never finished any of them. And when someone gives me a chord structure and gives me like this is this, I never finish those songs. For me, when I'm writing the song, I don't know the chords, but the melody and the whole sound of it is coming out in the lyric. And then I just try to figure out the chords.
Well, yeah, a lot of times, and that's very true. The lyrical content will determine the music that you play. If it's a song that's a little lighter, a little happier, it's going to be a happier melody line, happier chord. If it's a little dark, it's going to be a little minor keys. It's going to be a little heavier sounding. So you kind of pull the music out of what the song is saying, what the lyric.
That's where the vibe.
Yeah.
Energy.
Right.
So when she first came here, I played one song on the piano and she started crying. Because she had wanted to be she was a celloist and she wants to get back into music, but it's like her life has kept her from it. So maybe somehow she'll get back into music being here.
I encourage you.
Life is I was accepted into birth.
Oh wow.
School of music, yeah.
That's amazing. That's great.
That was 19. I think it was about a little over a decade.
Yeah.
I know I don't know the right path.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very musically inclined.
Right.
So I know it'll hit me. But it's just life is it's a journey, not.
So that's true. Yes.
So I believe wholeheartedly. If I just keep following my intuition,
Yes.
my heart, I'll get there. I know. It's just patience and what you do in between it. Right?
Exactly.
So have you done professional recordings of your songs? I haven't. She
Yes.
got a hold of you. I didn't
I
look up
have.
anything.
I've got.
Watch this. You want to
I
see a
didn't
heart?
Oh, you can turn it on.
Oh.
Now she's got the halo.
Now you got a little glow behind you.
As if I did it
You're
before.
angelic.
As if I did it before this was turned on. I'm pretty sure I did. What is that? Is that being humble? No.
No, it's okay.
No, you're just telling the truth.
You're just being.
Thank
You have to be
You're just
honest
telling the truth.
sometimes.
This is
Thank
authentic.
you. That's just me being
Authenticity.
genuine. Just genuine.
Exactly.
No, see, I have I just have a recently released EP that just dropped about a month ago
Oh, cool.
on all the digital outlets. It's called Borderlands Volume 1.
Okay, we'll put a link to that.
Yeah. And, you can hear it on Spotify and Pandora and iTunes, and you can buy it on Amazon Prime. And
Okay, good.
yeah, so it's a 7-song EP.
Say the name one more time.
Borderlands Volume 1.
Borderlands Volume 1.
Well, so
And
there's gonna be
Volume
more
2,
Borderlands
all the
coming out.
songs are in the can, and I'll be releasing them probably in the fall.
Okay, cool.
I just released a single
Okay.
that I put out called Summertime. For
Oh,
summertime.
How convenient.
Yeah.
How
Have you
convenient.
tried sending your music to Tim Piles? He plays local artists. He played 7 of my songs.
Oh.
91 N. I'll get you
Oh.
his contact information.
Okay. Yeah, I never thought about it.
Because your music is similar to one guy he plays all the time, which is Happy Ron. Have you ever heard of
Oh, I
Happy
love
Ron?
Happy Ron.
So he plays
There
Happy
you
Ron
go.
all the time. He plays my music, which is totally opposite of Happy Ron.
Right.
His is more folk, like yours. I'm more in my recordings. I've
Yeah.
done it with studios where they do
Yeah.
more rock sound.
Although Borderlands Volume 1 has more of a rock sound to it.
Okay, cool.
It's got a band thing going on with it. So it's I like that. Kind of like it's more of a rock sound, you know.
So I only performed in San Diego at one venue. It was in Oceanside when I first moved back, and then the pandemic hit, so I did a lot of busking. Where are some of your favorite places in San Diego first to see music, and second you've been able to?
Well, there's a lot of great places to see music.
Yeah,
A lot of things are opening back up. Casbah's is a great place
I want
to
to go
see
to Casbah.
music.
I think I saw
Belly Up's a good place to
Belly
see
Up. Yeah, I
music.
heard about this.
I saw Tori Amos right after she released her first solo album at
Yeah.
Belly Up. She was on the Johnny Carson show, and they said she's coming to San Diego, and then we got, and it was like this little. It's about 4 times the size of this, right?
Right, it's not a very
And
big
there was a little
place.
piano in the middle of the thing,
Mhm.
and everyone's going,
Yeah.
Tori. She comes out, sits on the piano like she does, like riding a horse all the time.
Right.
She's like, "That's my name." She's
Yeah.
just going off, man.
Yeah.
It was so
Yeah.
incredible. It was like you're there with the
Yeah.
person. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. But there's a lot of really good places where you can see a lot of live music. Like Navajo Live is this bar out in the Mesa area,
Okay.
like Navajo and Lake Murray.
Okay.
So
I
it's
gotta
like
start
a
getting
bar
into
out there. Yeah, Navajo bar, Navajo Live, and then I play every Tuesday night. I play this place in El Cajon called Hacienda Casablanca,
Okay.
Mexico. Yeah. And I've been playing there almost every Tuesday night since 2012.
You do solo or you have a?
I just do solo. So
How
you
much
can't
time?
make any money if you're in a band. You know, if you're doing it for a living.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
If you're doing it for a
You
living,
gotta have
stay
s-
like a solo artist. You know.
Yeah, for four band members, you got to get 4 times the people there at the show,
Right.
and it's
Well, and
usually
you gotta
only
make
the
4
person
times
who's
the
really,
money.
and it's only the person who's really into booking, like the singer songwriter,
Right.
who actually brings their friends, and
Right.
all the other ones just
Right.
smooch off your
Yeah.
your money.
Right. So I play Pally Wine Company downtown. It's a urban winery down on India Street. I play there a lot. I
Love
play the
India
3rd
Street.
Saturday of every month. I play Dofo Winery in Temecula. And then I play out
I gotta
play
get-
out in Warner Springs. I play San Isabel. I play
Wow,
Julian.
you
I
know,
play
a lot of history.
Borrego,
Wow.
Borrego Springs.
Most of the places you have to have your own sound system. I had my own sound system.
Yeah,
I've got it
I've got
everywhere.
a Bose tower that I use.
Okay.
You know, an L1 Bose tower, and great.
I'm thinking of getting the $500 one where you plug it in and it lasts like 8 hours. You can do a mic and a guitar and a piano in it.
There's a lot of those type of
both, I think it's
systems where
pretty nice.
they're
for a small-
compact
Yeah.
and they're real good. There's a lot of systems out there. But yeah, but I'll play anywhere the money makes sense. I'll play. You know, I played a tour in 2019.
I'm gonna open this window. It's good.
In October of 2019. I
Oh,
played
this is done. I could have did it.
Oh, easy there. Don't hurt yourself.
I know that window is quite.
In October of 2019, I did a 20-day tour in the UK.
Oh, wow.
And it was cool. I did England, Scotland, Wales. It was
Damn.
great. I loved it.
How did someone help
20
you book,
days.
or
I
did you,
booked it.
you
I
just
booked the
called,
whole
emailed
thing.
everyone, sent them like EPs? and
I
shit?
started booking that tour in January of
Wow.
2019, and I finished booking it in July of that year.
Wow.
And I'd spent 4 to 6 hours a day on the computer every day. You know, and I was able to get.
I want to
20
thank
days.
our sponsor, Bezos' wife, gave us free yogurt.
Nice.
Yeah,
Right
our
on.
new sponsor is Bezos' wife.
So yeah, so I mean, like I said, I play anywhere the money makes sense. You know, 'cause this is what I do for a living. So,
Yeah.
you know,
So, what would you recommend to someone who's maybe younger, or even if they're not younger, but they've been wanting to get into music, they wanted just like some people, they don't write songs yet, but they can do some cover songs just to get
Going.
a lot of stuff I do are covers.
Yeah, I do too. I do
Because-
mostly covers. I think
because-
that's what people want.
Because people want to hear covers. If you're strictly an original artist,
It's hard
you're not
to get.
going to work.
Yeah, you're not.
You know?
Yeah.
You got to play covers.
I find when I do my shows, I play 2 covers, and then I play a song that's similar to those 2 covers. That's my original, and then they're like, "Wow, I never heard that one." Like, oh, yeah, I wrote
Right.
that. And I sell a CD.
And that's what I do too. I'll do 2 or 3 covers, throw in an original.
Yeah.
2 or 3 covers, throw in an original. You know, and I do that through the course of the evening.
Yeah.
You know.
And you know it's a good night when everyone goes, "Those other songs I didn't know. Those are my favorite ones." What do I?
Yeah, where
They're
do I
like,
get
"Oh, it's
that?"
right
You
here,
know?
my
Yeah.
album." Yeah.
I've had that happen a number of times. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, gosh, where else? There's so many great live music.
Yeah. Well, I just discovered Queen Bees. I went there last.
Yep. Queen Bees.
Younger people were playing the 2 times I went, but I had a ball because I recorded a ball.
Yeah.
I danced.
Queen Bees was great. Yeah, that's a great spot.
Oh, in fact, we had a Scary Gary show. You know who the Scary Gary show is? Scary Gary? Oh, okay.
Nope.
He's doing a show, and he's looking for a couple more artists. Maybe I'll get you hooked up with him. He's doing some big concert thing on the 17th. I'm going actually as a stand-up comedian,
Ah, okay.
which I started getting into a little before the pandemic, and I got really into it. I called it stand-down comedy because I was doing it on the beach and no one knew I was doing comedy. I was just with my guitar and my roller skates and my mariachi hat, and I would say all these weird shit, and people would like laugh. Acting too, and people would start laughing, and I'm like, I can do
Yeah.
so I'm gonna do my full
Why
full
not?
show now.
That'll be great.
On the 17th.
You know, there's a joke. There's a joke that I heard that
Yeah.
some comedian said every musician thinks he's funny. Every comedian thinks he's a musician.
Musician. Well, I don't know. I don't really think I'm that funny.
Well, you know what it is? Musicians have inquisitive, intelligent minds.
Yeah. Well, I think you're probably right there.
I find when I'm doing my shows, I'll say like things are. I'm just talking about my music, and it'll come out like a joke, and everyone starts laughing.
That's
I'm like, oh, I didn't even expect
That's
that to be a joke.
Right.
One of my songs is called Cosmic Dance, and I was at a Japanese meeting, and one part of the song goes really loud. I say, "Bloodshed, I'm sick of all the bloodshed. We need to stop the wars," whatever, like in the song. And the guy after the MC was Japanese, and he said, "I really like your song, but I don't think at a Buddhist meeting you should yell bullshit so loud." And I said, "No, I
You heard
said
it wrong.
You were.
You heard it wrong.
I said
Oh, no.
bloodshed." So like years later, I wrote a song. It's called the Bullshit Song. So now, before I introduce the Bullshit Song, I always do that song, and then
Smart.
then they laugh at that, and I play the song. See, it says bloodshed. Listen really carefully. At the end, when I start screaming, it says bloodshed, not bullshit.
Right.
They'll laugh. And then I go, but now I wrote a song. It's called the Bullshit Song.
That's good. I love it.
Yeah. Funny how things come together when you least expect it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how about playing with? I've been trying to get a band together. I've been in many. you were speaking of the Mexican restaurant you play at. I was in a salsa band back in the 80s, playing saxophone. No, early 90s in Orange County. And people would be salsa dancing, and I'd be it didn't normally go with salsa music, but they said it sounded like the
Accordion.
because I was playing tenor sax.
Okay.
I kind of did it like
So you kind of mimicked
accordion.
the accordion part.
They really liked it.
That's pretty cool.
I'm really been looking to get a band together for a long time, and it just seems like it's so hard to work with musicians because they all got so many.
They're unique.
There's so many. It's tried to get like 4 or 5 of them together. It's like it seems like it's impossible.
It's like herding cats.
Oh, it is. That's what
But
it
you
is.
did say in the
It's
beginning
hurting
of this
cats.
interview that it's better almost to have worked independent.
Well, you could just make more money.
There you go, because
You could as a small time.
But it's a lot of fun playing with other musicians.
Yeah.
I
collaboration.
mean, there's a group of guys I play with. We have a band called Dogfish Bar.
Okay. Oh, fish fun.
And so we play. We're like an Americana folk rock, Cajun folk rock
Right,
band.
right.
And in fact, I'm going to a rehearsal right after this
Nice.
interview. But they're a lot of fun to play with. They're all down to earth. They're all little more mature. They're a little older
Yeah.
guys, so they're past the goofy stage.
Right, their
you know,
mind
they're
is
more
a little more
they're more like
serene.
into the music and what we're playing. and
Yeah.
that. So, and then I also have a duo that I play with. I have a singer songwriter friend, a collaborator, and her name is Rose Darrow. And Rose and I
think
write.
I might have
write
sent her a
stuff.
message. So that sounds familiar.
Rose Darrow, and we write a lot of stuff together. Like she'll come up with lyrics for a song, and then she'll send them to me, and then I'll go through them and I'll do an edit here and an edit there, and then I'll put the music to it, stuff like that. But we have a duo called Desert Crossing,
Okay.
and so we've played a couple of shows out. We're like real new, just kind of getting out there, and it's been fun playing with someone else,
Yeah.
besides just doing it myself. Plus, I got somebody else to carry half the vocal load,
Awesome.
You
That
know-
makes it a
you
lot
know,
simpler.
so that's kind of nice,
I find when I'm doing a lot of concerts, I need a band to play some solos or me to play sax because
Yeah, collaboration.
singing 2 or 3 hours all the time is
Taxing.
so hard on the
It's
voice.
yeah,
Two
and
people
it's
singing,
tough
3
on you,
people
man.
singing, it's much easier.
When I do Dofo Winery, that's a 4-hour show. It's 1 to 5,
Oh, wow.
so it's like, it can be taxing. It can be strenuous.
That's why I always had in the bands I was in, I played sax or piano because then I can have someone else. Just doing solos helps make the song longer and not have to
Oh,
sing
yeah.
the whole time.
Exactly.
Because when you're
Yeah.
it's kind of hard when you're a solo artist to really play a solo because it sounds like I don't know. Some people can do solos as a solo artist, but to me it sounds
Well, you got to have the rhythm going.
and that's
so it's
that's
tough
hard
to play a solo with
yeah.
the rhythm unless you're throwing
Unless you're really
certain
good,
lines
yeah.
in and playing rhythm too.
Yeah.
Along with you can do that,
You can
but
do it.
but see, I also play harmonica, so I put my
there you
harmonica
go, there you
holder
go.
on, and so when I play rhythm with my guitar,
There you
and
go.
then I blow a harmonica solo,
Well, yeah.
and that kind of helps.
I need to do harmonica.
Something different.
My
like
grandma
that.
gave me this
Yeah.
little miniature harmonica from Germany. It was a big name company that does harmonicas, and it was like seriously this small, and it was
Honer.
Honer.
It was a Honer.
I got so good at that going to bars where people were doing karaoke, and I was just soloing, and I'd never done that before.
Right.
That little one, and I put it in I danced one day, and it disappeared. I had it in my pocket. I was doing flips and stuff. I always stand on my hands, and I don't know where it went. But I need to get one of those. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
It was like I did it always when I was
I
stoned.
love
so
the sound of
I don't know if that helped, but
that
it was
sound
perfect.
is so crisp and unique.
It
That
is.
Like,
It's a very unique
Yeah,
sound.
'cause it's-
nothing. That sound.
Like
Yeah,
when
that sounds
Neil
simple.
Young,
Yeah.
it's so spooky.
It is.
With his spooky voice plus the harmonica.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
The
Definitely.
combination is
Yeah,
very unique.
Definitely has a spooky sound. to
Yeah.
it.
that's what I love most about it. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, did I already ask you who's your biggest influence?
Uh,
You said CCR.
Probably
You said
CSN, Bob Dylan,
Bob Dylan.
Springsteen, Johnny Cash.
Okay.
Oh.
Lately, I've been listening.
Johnny Cash.
He has some great lyrics.
Merle Haggard, some of the older country guys, not like the pop country guys today,
Okay,
like the older guys.
Who's the folk guy who did the song that all of a sudden now all the young kids are all doing it? It's that Hallelujah.
Oh yeah, you're thinking of Leonard Cohen.
Leonard Cohen. Oh my God.
Leonard Cohen's amazing.
His
What an
lyrics,
amazing writer.
Yeah.
Oh, well, and his poetry books are fantastic.
Oh, okay.
Oh, his poetry books are dynamite.
I just started reading this singer. Who was the other hippies guy who died in the band? They played in L.A. L.A. Woman.
Oh, Morrison.
I
Jim
just started
Morrison.
reading his poetry.
Yeah.
I just started reading his poetry.
He had some really, really, really thought-provoking poetry.
Yeah, he did.
He was actually more of a poet than he was of a
Lyricist.
singer-songwriter, you know.
But I was
His
amazed.
poetry
I was
was
listening to
amazing.
his interviews recently on YouTube. They have a lot of his interviews. Brilliant.
Oh,
Smart.
he's
And
very
he was
smart.
very non-confrontational, even though the interviewer would be like trying to get him like wild up because people
Yeah.
they were like his second album or third album, they said, oh, it's so different than your first album. Now we hear it as all the same thing. But back then it was so controversial.
Right.
His next album, because he already got famous,
Right.
so he can be more controversial in the second
Right,
album.
right,
And
right.
they were saying, no, it's not. It's just normal rock and roll. And he would read the lyrics, and you're like, that's pretty out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny how when things grow, they take on different lights. So
Well,
people change their point of view, and
yeah.
So speaking, we spoke of two people that died, singer-songwriters. She spoke of Prince. Do you think any of the Michael Jackson, Prince? Do you think any of these people were taken out for some reason? You don't think so?
I'm not much of a conspiracy.
Prince-
neither am I.
Prince wrote some. The reason he changed his name 3 times is because he wanted to get out of his record contract because he said he was flooding the market. He was releasing like 50 songs a year. So he would sell them. He sold it to the Bangles. He'd say, "You don't need to use my name," and they get hit songs. He sold it to not Mariah Carey. What's the big nose girl, the high voice from Canada?
Oh, Cher.
Blonde hair, maybe not Cher, but
Celine Dion.
Celine Dion.
Dion.
He's saying he did one of her. All these famous singer women. No one knew who wrote the songs. It was all his.
Right.
Because the record label wouldn't let him release a lot of his stuff because
Right.
he kept writing so
Yeah.
much stuff.
Right.
And so he said, "Fuck it, I'm leaving the record label. You can't use your
Right.
name. We own it." Okay, and I'll just say I'm the guy that used to do that.
Right. Right. The artist formerly known
Formerly
as.
known as.
And then they said, "You're still using Prince. We're gonna sue you for that." So he's like, "Okay, I'm just the.
Okay, I'm just gonna put a symbol.
I'm a symbol.
I don't have a name anymore. I'm just a symbol. Try suing me then.
And then he dies like
Sideways.
I don't know. I think there was some nefarious, but we won't get into that unless you had some information from the other guys.
Yeah, I don't think it was all. I don't
Yeah.
think it was nefarious. I think it was just they were drug abused and
Everything happens
and-
for a reason.
so.
Everything happens
I
for a
did
reason.
watch a Kurt Cobain documentary that tried to blame his wife hiring someone to kill him, but
Yeah,
I don't
that's-
believe it
That's
now.
ridiculous.
I almost believed it watching the documentary. Almost made it sound real.
Yeah, that's
Because he was trying to leave her. This is according to the documentary, and she didn't want him to leave her because they think she lose her fame or whatever. And she started fighting with him, and then she started dating someone else, and he killed her or something like that.
no.
Anyway, I don't know if it's any of that.
All
I
the-
don't
all the
support any
muckrakers-
crazy documentaries
All the
like that.
muckrakers out there, man. All they want to do is stir
Muckrakers.
up. They
But
wanna
I do
stir it
believe
up,
there's
you
2
know?
Paul
Sure
McCartneys. Do you know
What?
that there's 2 Paul
Oh
McCartneys?
yeah, I've heard that one.
There
too.
probably is 3.
No, there's 2 Paul
There's
McCartneys.
almost 8 billion people in the world. There's probably 3.
I've heard.
I have 4 or 5 books that I wasn't convinced until I read the last book that was written by a guy that he said that Paul McCartney now, which is really the great grandson of William Wallace Campbell, or William Wallace, and he's William Wallace Campbell, otherwise known as
Braveheart.
Yeah, it's his great grandfather. He's
Really?
from Scotland. That's why after he left the Beatles, he went back to Scotland.
Interesting.
But anyway, that's a whole long story. If you want to know about the different theories, I'll go into it. But other people might roll their eyes.
Go into it.
Let's go into
Let's
it.
go into it.
You want to go into that theory?
Whatever.
Okay, let's just do it because it's just a theory.
Right,
I don't
let's
know
hear
which
it.
way it is.
Yep.
I mean, I want to know what their sources are. That's what I want to
Oh
know.
Okay.
yeah, that's the most
So
sensible way to
this
find out.
is an excerpt from the memoirs of Billy Shears. So Billy Shears was one of William Wallace Campbell's stage names when he was in a couple different bands. One of them was the Pepper Pots, and one of them was, and in the Pepper Pots they called him Sergeant Pepper. That was one of his acts.
Okay.
So Billy's back. This book is probably 300 or 400 pages, but the actual memoir, I bought it, 666 pages. And they purposely picked that. But in that book, there's encoding all along the side where it says a different message down the side. And there's word stacking where you highlight words going down and they say a whole different messages.
Interesting.
Because, and the book had to be released as fiction because of, he got knighted because he was the only Beatle that got knighted because he didn't. The other ones were going to reveal this story, but they got killed, according to the author that.
Okay.
So, Thomas E. Harriet is what's called the encoder. He didn't write the book because this was the dialogues he had with William Wallace Campbell, who's now knighted as Paul McCartney. And anyway, so it's so deep. Every chapter goes deeper and deeper into like stuff about secret societies and different things. And the reason why they broke up the Beatles was not because of Yoko Ono, even though Yoko Ono contributed somewhat to it. It was because the first Paul McCartney, didn't want to use the band as a promotional tool for the kids to take LSD, and that's what the British government wanted them to do. So they wanted them to go to the Monterey Jazz Festival in California and promote LSD. And he said no, and that's why they took him out. And they put this guy who's working for the government. His family's way up high in the Scottish Rites, and put him in there. He was a better songwriter, but he was a right-handed guitar player and a bassist, and so he had to learn he had to live in Paul McCartney's house and learn on his bass how to go left-handed. But the reason they didn't have any live concerts except that one on the roof and the one on TV where they're sitting down is because he's way taller than the roof than Paul McCartney. And if you look at his face, it's way longer than. So now that we have all like the details of facial structures where they can do facial recognition. If you look at the Paul McCartney now and the previous Paul McCartney, and they do any recognition software, it's a different face. Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a conspiracy.
And almost every song that they released after 1964, 60, I forget what year it was. I think it was 64 that he died. It was all about the message in every song was they wanted to tell the truth, but they couldn't because the British invasion, which was led by the Beatles, made the UK become the cultural icon of the world. People started buying Ugg boots. Dr. Martin boots. They bought everything English.
Yeah.
At that time, and the English government and the English economy was booming because of the Beatles. Right. And so after one of them dies, they didn't want that. And if they just we're just gonna do 3 people, it would probably die like a lot of bands when one of the artists died. So they put this other guy in there. This guy helped break up the band because he also didn't know he was going to be pushing LSD as a thing, even though.
So this book, the premise of this book says that the real Paul McCartney that started the Beatles died somewhere along the way.
Yeah. He blew his mind out in the car.
I think all that stuff is ridiculous.
Okay, so there's 3 different universities that, according to this book, I haven't asked these universities.
I know.
He names the sources of 3 different universities that did vocal samples of the first Paul McCartney's last song before he died, and the first song recorded by the new Paul McCartney. So the new Paul McCartney actually recorded Eleanor Rigby was the last song that was recorded by the old Paul McCartney, and the new Paul McCartney, when they released the album, which is A Funeral, and on the funeral scene, it has all dead people except one that was supposed to have died.
You're talking about Sergeant Pepper.
Sergeant Pepper. And on the flowers, it's a base. It's a Paul McCartney base, and it says rested. It says, "All right, what does it say? Pronounced dead, or dead on arrival." They have something in on the patch. Anyway, the whole he explains like every album after that was explaining how he was dead, and even the Rolling Stones released right after that was out their Flowers, and the Flowers was the gift to Paul McCartney dying, and the song "Feel" by the Yellow Brick Road was when Beatles finally told a lot of their friends in the studio that Paul McCartney died. That whole Yellow Brick Road, "I'm No Longer in Kansas," is what was they wrote all about. Now they realize that Hollywood and the industry is totally different than what they believe.
Anyway. I'm no longer in Kansas. Sounds like Wizard of Oz.
That's what they'll Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah.
And the Black Seal in that song is all about the walrus. I am the walrus.
Oh, okay.
Because I am he as you are me, and we are all together. Was their new religion, which was they believed that the old Paul when he died, the new Paul when they were all getting together, they did a seance, and he came through him from the base, and they started like a new cult of Paul, his beliefs and stuff. But anyway,
wow.
It's a long thing.
Okay, that's a stretch, but
Anyway, after this, I read this book. I'm almost convinced that it's true. I'm not 100%. I don't one way or the other, but you got to read that book if you want to just go deep into the rabbit hole.
All right, I'm not sure I want to get that deep.
Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't seem.
And they talk about Aleister Crowley because they were relating to Aleister Crowley, and I actually worked for Aleister Crowley's great grandson, who's Crowley Motors. They have like 5 different dealerships.
Crowley Motors.
Yeah, it's a big dealership. It's Aleister Crowley's great grandson, father Crowley.
Right.
All right. So, do you have any aspirations outside of music?
I like to write poetry, and I like to draw, and
that's creative. That's kind of
stuff like
correlated
that.
as well. Everything's all
But
creative
I mean,
mind.
back in the day when I could afford it, I like to play golf.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's like everything.
but it's expensive.
Like everything.
Now I don't have the time.
That's a lot of time.
I can't devote 4 or 5 hours of my day to play golf. I just can't. I'm too busy. I got too many things going on. I'm spending, a lot of my days I'm spending promoting and trying to get new gigs and contacting this person and contacting that person.
A lot of time.
Since you have so many connections, do you think you would ever be like a booking agent on top of your gigs to help some younger people that don't know how to do the booking?
Oh no,
yes,
I hate that.
Hell no, is right.
I hate that part of the business.
Yeah.
I hate the hustling the gigs all the time.
Because they always not want to give as much money.
They don't. They don't, and they'll never get back to you. So you have to hound them to the point of being, obnoxious before they'll get back to you.
I think this is why it's so imperative to do things that are within your soul. Not necessarily. This is why the world's changing so much drastically. Everyone's awakening their conscience.
Right.
It's like I shouldn't be doing this job because I.
Yeah, I think a lot of people these days are coming to terms with the fact that they want to do something that's who they are.
That's
and
why
make a living.
That's right.
Make a living doing something that they
That's
love,
right.
as opposed to doing something just for a buck.
Just to get the bills
right.
paid.
Just to get the bills paid.
Because all you're doing is paying the bills so that you can go back to work.
And it's not that
work so
fulfilling.
that you can pay the bills.
It's your life is just passing you by. I know. I'm in my 30s.
Right.
It's becoming clearer and clearer every year that I'm around.
Yeah.
I wonder when it'll come to maybe it's already hit me. But I don't know how I'm going to express that knowledge. I'm trying to find the.
Like when I talk to young people about their life's ambitions, what they want to do, I always tell them, look, find out what it is you love to do. Find out what it is in you that you would do for free, and then find a way to make a living.
Yeah. That's so hard for a lot of
That
people.
that's yeah.
But that's
because
tough.
there's
But
so
it's
many
like,
things that
But
I
it's like if
love
you think
to
of
do.
Einstein, he wasn't a scientist. He didn't graduate college, but he knew he can invent stuff and he can create stuff. So he got a job at the patent office, so he can read through every patent and learn every scientific
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So he worked at the patent office. He married a mathematician because he wasn't that good at math. She did all the math equations on all of his theories. So when they divorced, he got the Nobel Prize. She sued him because it should have been the Einstein Prize.
Right.
She did all the math.
Yeah.
He couldn't understand it. He didn't know the math.
Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't know that. That's
It was their joint theory, and then they divorce, and he gets a Nobel Prize, and she's like, "What the fuck? I did all the math.
What am I?
There's no way you
chopped
could.
liver?
There's no way you could have done it without me. There's no way." But that's how it was back in the days. The wives never got. Most of those
They didn't get credit.
great scientists, they had a wife that
Well,
knew.
now everyone
Pattern.
knows it's usually if anything great is coming from a man, it's
There's gotta be
because of
Gotta be a woman behind there
Ha ha
somewhere.
ha! Yes, yes. Someone that's better.
What's that song? Someone says there's a woman to blame, but I know it's my own damn fault.
That's right. That's
So
a
your
Buffett
wife-
song.
Your wife has a lot of influence in Sean. You're knowledgeable.
She does. She
Yeah,
does.
I know she
She's,
does.
you know, she's sort of the solid foundational
Yeah, the
feet on the
backbone.
ground.
The backbone.
feet on the ground, you know, and I'm like the person flying in the clouds.
That's your balance.
You know,
That's funny because I'm married now twice and been separated for. I've been married with my second wife for 10 years, but we've been separated for 5. And she went to a psychic lady in Japan before I left Japan, and the psychic lady said, "Just everything he'll touch will turn to gold. So just let him go free. If he's stuck in anything like he has to do permanent, he's never going to be able to do anything.
Why?
So just let him go free." And I quit a bunch of my jobs and I moved to America. She said she's going to come someday, but she's came a couple times. But
right.
who knows? Maybe we'll get divorced. Maybe we'll figure it out. But we have a daughter together. You have how many kids?
I have 3 adult kids and 5 grandchildren.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Damn.
experience.
Yeah.
That's why you're so interesting to
Yeah.
dive into your mind because
Yeah.
you have a lot of.
Do any of your kids or your wife sing with you on some songs, or do they get into what you're doing?
Well, all my kids are singers,
Oh wow.
and both my boys are singers, songwriters. Well, not songwriters, but they play guitar.
Okay.
And then my granddaughters all have beautiful voices and sing. So I guess the singing legacy is going down the generation.
Well, so I didn't know my real dad until I was 37. We found him on the internet, and my mom left him when I was 2. My older brother was 4 because he was too much into LSD and she wanted to get away from that lifestyle. She got arrested for doing. He destroyed our altar. We had an altar like this for Buddhism. He destroyed it all because he didn't want her to do Buddhism. So she ran away from him. But I found out he's a guitar player, a piano player, and a harmonica, and a singer and songwriter, and I never knew any of that stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. He's a little bit out there because he did way too much.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know how to focus it into doing something productive. He has it, the ability, all that stuff. Wow.
Oh, that's too bad. You know.
Yeah.
He got kind of far gone in it.
Right, and then once
You
you're
know.
that far, it's like, how
Well,
can I? It's so
I
much
mean,
more
you've destroyed
difficult.
so much of your brain that you can't get
Yeah.
back. Get it back.
Do you feel that each and every individual has a little bit of that musician in them?
Well, I think music moves people. And I think universally, I think it moves everybody. And I think, you know, to one degree or another, I think everybody has a little bit of music in them.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
You know, now they may be able to, you know, they may have gifts to sing or play an instrument or write songs or whatever. Or maybe maybe they can just listen to music and hum along, you know. But I mean, everybody's got, I believe everybody has some capacity for music.
They've shown that every single culture in the world had to have music or it couldn't have even existed.
Right.
Like if you put someone on an island like that movie,
Oh,
Castaway.
Castaway.
he would have, to make that movie really work, he wouldn't have went crazy if he started beating on some cantaloupes or something.
Yeah.
Whatever he had,
Right.
the pineapples.
Right.
And he would have made music. That probably would have saved him from
Yeah.
going crazy. But
Yeah.
he didn't do that.
Right. You know, which I think is a lot of the tragedy in Western culture now is that the arts are not promoted in school like they used to be, and they're cutting the arts and music programs in schools, and you know, I think that's a tragedy because a culture is defined by their art and their music.
Yeah.
You know?
They
It's
express
really
so much.
it's really defined by that.
Let me just make sure this. Yeah. Back in the days, all the boys clubs had jazz bands, and you can just go and they had all the instruments.
Yeah.
And you can just check them out, and you're part of the
Yeah.
boys club. You just pay your 1 year dues of like $2 or something
Yeah.
like that, and you can use an instrument. And they have teachers teaching
Yep.
you. And
Yeah, exactly.
And it was wood shops, and you can learn I learned judo. I learned how to make things with wood and how to fix bicycles at the boys club when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Now they call it the Boys and Girls Club, but
Right.
it used to be those YMCA's and stuff like that. Everywhere, people had something to go to.
Right.
Like if you're homeless, that song, go to the YMCA. They'll give you some food and they'll
That's
try to find you a job and stuff. And
Right.
there was more community. Everything was more community.
Yeah.
I think it's because capitalism or the corporate structure took over everything.
Yeah,
It's just
monetized.
everything's about.
Everything's monetized.
So all the coffee houses I played in the 80s and 90s all got taken over by Starbucks.
Yep, by big corporate.
You ever heard of Dietrich's Coffee? I used to play at Dietrich's Coffees all over Orange County, LA, and even in San Diego. Del Mar Dietrich's I played at. And every weekend there was bands every Friday and Saturday, little combos or solo artists.
Yeah.
And we didn't make that much money, but they paid us a little bit of money themselves plus the tips and the CDs we sold. Well, back then it was cassette tapes.
Right.
But Starbucks took over, and it's just like get in, get out, get in, get out. There's no that whole culture died.
Yeah, there's no camaraderie, and that's another thing that's wrong with today's culture. There's no camaraderie anymore. Everything is so independent. I have this. I'm always metaphorically saying this to people. This is what I'm talking about. Individual. It's not. We need to collaborate more.
Yeah.
Because collaboration is what makes the world grow.
Yeah.
Musically as well. Like this is why collaboration, a guy and a girl, even on a show, is so much more interesting to you.
Right.
At the beginning of the pandemic, I got this little $100 speaker, and I could plug my phone into it. And I was walking down the beach talking to homeless people. I said, "What's your song?" And they're like, "No one's ever asked me."
Think about Joe
like
Dreams.
this.
Think about Joe Dreams.
And I would, like, a homeless guy would say, "I haven't heard," and they would have some old song, and I played it their whole life because I played it on this little ghetto box that they didn't. They haven't had anything to play music, their own music. They hear everyone else's music, but they played their song. They were like the whole life. It was more than giving them money or anything. They were like, "Oh my God, I haven't heard it on this." One guy, he wanted to hear like Stone Temple Pilots. And he was no one would talk to him because he looked like this woolly mammoth walking on the beach. And I said, "Hey, come over here. Do you want to hear a song? What do you want to hear?" He's like, "Stone Temple Pilots." He was like, "Car back. I should play this on my car. I had a set tape player." And he was just so excited. And that's just like music. Just touches.
The collaboration. I told you, universal language.
I had books. I don't have them here, but I had books on the music, healing through music.
Healing through music, big time.
So many people who suffered from some major thing.
Remember what we talked about me?
Yeah.
Music bought me out of that.
Right,
music was a big part of it.
So what were some of the songs? What were some of the?
There was basically it was one artist.
Who's that?
Kind of a younger artist because it was the time that it
okay.
happened. The time that
Milli Vanilli?
No, not Milli Vanilli. It was Trey Songz or something like that. It's some newer artist that's like in his 30s.
Okay. You don't want to name him?
I just said Trey Songz.
Trey Songz?
Trey
Songz. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll look it up later.
He's extremely musically inclined and his producers and all that.
Well,
so anyways,
so she went through a near-death experience. Yeah. She flew through a sunroof and landed on the cement and cut her whole body open, put all the stuff in it, and she's alive from that.
And that's some tragedy. Tragedy is what what usually brings the intuition, the soul.
Yes.
The
Yes.
soul speaks. If it's not music, tragedy.
Right.
Right?
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
But sometimes it's both. Sometimes people go
Yes.
through some near-death experience and all of a sudden become a famous artist or a famous healer or famous. I've known people that all different things. They almost died and it opened up something.
I was in a small plane crash in 1990 in New Zealand.
Oh
What is
wow.
that?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
That was scary.
How did that happen?
Well, we were coming in for a landing and the plane stalled
Hey!
and we nosed in. We were about 100 feet up. Coming into landing. The plane stalled and
What?
we just like
Oh. And everyone.
all four of us
Survived.
all survived. I spent 3 days in the hospital. I had some lacerations on my face and had to have a plastic surgeon put some of my face back together
wow.
again. But
In this
anyway, yeah.
plastic surgery, Paul McCartney, they said the Ram album, it's radical appearance modification. It's part of the government program to make your face look different. That's what they call Malalis surgery. At first, his cheeks sunk.
Interesting.
Anyway, they wanted to make more round because the first guy was more round.
That's actually interesting. Radical
Well, appearance modification. Ram.
Modification.
That's why it's all capitals.
Ram.
It's like the
Yeah.
album cover. He was trying to tell that, and some of the songs in that album he talked about too.
Yeah, but that's the so essentially that's the transformation into music.
Yes.
The
Yes.
tragedy
Yes.
that leads you to okay, so now
Yeah.
I understand. It even makes your
Oh, and I
your
was
brain
telling him when you went in the restroom,
understand.
my first song I wrote after I quit my car.
Yeah.
Writer's block.
Right. Awesome.
We don't want to keep you longer than you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know how long we went. How long have we
Well,
went?
how long are we?
Let's see the time.
Yeah, 'cause I knew you have life.
Oh no, it's an hour. Wait, we went to an hour. Wow.
Okay.
Should we end with a
See
song,
that?
or do we have anything else we need to talk about? I wanted last thing before we go to a song or an ending. Do you feel the music industry can be saved from what it went through in this, from going from print to now MP3? You think it's going to
I can answer that.
resurrect?
I can
Because
answer that.
okay, you can answer yours then. Okay, you say first.
You say
What ladies first?
Yeah, well, and then I'm the younger generation,
Yeah.
so it's
Right.
You probably have more in touch
in
with that.
touch with. Do you believe it's going to be saved? It's already, I think.
Well, it's destroyed, and it's like so
No,
hard
no,
for
no,
a
no.
lot of
It's,
people to.
it's transitioning.
Yeah,
it's
well, just
not-
the stuff that's out there now that's coming out on the radio is just I don't know what it is.
Everything, everything in
can't
life
relate
is
to it.
change. Everything.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only constant in the world, change.
Yeah.
So it's not destroyed, it's just
It's
different.
Just
changing.
change.
It's been very.
I don't think the music industry will ever be the same.
It's
No,
not
it's-
supposed to be.
And
It's not supposed to be.
and I think
It's not
I
supposed
think
to be.
the digital era kind of did some things to hurt the music
Oh,
industry.
totally it did.
I mean, because there was a day when, like, it wasn't easy to record,
No, and it was
and
very.
now it's real easy to
Well,
record,
with
and
it-
anybody can
From
do it.
8-track to
But what I'm saying is,
it's
digitally,
transition.
anybody can do it.
And
Back
there
in
was-
the day,
No,
when it was
extremely
analog,
difficult.
it was like it was a big deal,
Yeah.
and not anybody could do it.
Yeah, and when your favorite band releases a new album, you had to some of the stores didn't have it yet because you got
Yes, you
they
had to
told-
wait.
They
That's
did it
right.
on the radio,
Yeah,
and
you had
you
to
said,
wait
"Oh my God,
for
next week they're
the
going to
album.
release it." You got to get in line because
And-
the first.
And you had the
Yeah.
vinyl jacket. You
Yeah,
could
you
sit
could
back.
read
You
the
could read
lyrics.
all the
That's right.
credits. You could read all the
They did that, and
lyrics.
it
Oh, did you know the first
It did.
album that
Yep.
ever had the lyrics on it was when they were. That was because they wanted to say that Paul McCartney died, and that was that album. That was the first one to ever in history have that lyrics on it. And the reason they did it is because what they actually said and what they wrote is different. But they want you to think what you read is what they actually said,
Interesting.
so that they can mask what they really want to tell you.
Okay. Anyway, but I mean, time marches on, and,
Sure the hell does.
progress
Sure the hell does.
progress marches on, and who knows what it's
Right.
going to look like. I mean, it's like, with my latest EP, I don't think I'm even going to press any. I'm not going to press any CDs. Nobody plays CDs
My last one,
anymore.
I pressed my second to last one, but this
You know,
new one I just put it online.
So I just put it on the digital
Yeah,
outlets,
I
and
gotta
people
press
can purchase it on, on Amazon Prime and
Let it
whatever.
come to you. Let it come to you.
Yeah.
That's the universe. The universe's most intelligent way to get anything and do anything is let it come to you. The universe brings you what you need.
if
that
you're
time.
actually
Open to receiving.
if you're taking action in that direction. Yeah. If you just sit back and do nothing, the universe is going to say you really don't want to.
But a lot of times you don't know what to do.
Well,
That's
yeah,
kind of
then
the
you just do
stage-
something different, but do something productive. Do something like reading a book.
There
like,
you go.
These are just a few books
But
I got
it's
since
gonna
I've
look
been here.
different because everyone's journey is so unique.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
It's gonna look different.
Well, for
you.
her, it's meditation.
For me,
She sits
for
around
me.
meditating. Which is fine.
And just time to myself. I
Sure.
prefer like just serenity, just to
Yeah.
hear my thoughts and then receive. You do it in tandem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do
There
it
you go.
in solitude.
So the important thing is, though, as a musician, keep doing it.
Keep
There
going.
you go.
Just keep doing it. Don't worry about the crap that's going on in the industry.
No.
Just just keep doing it for yourself. And
Yeah.
for nobody else, do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Your own enlightenment, your own enjoyment, your own, for what fills you up. That's why you do it.
Yeah.
So
What would you say? I guess we're gonna wrap it up.
No. You don't have to.
go ahead.
Okay, what would you say is primary primary element or fabric of life?
Primary element or fabric of life. Well, I think relationships with people.
I would answer the same way.
I think just having people in your life.
Yes,
and,
I would answer the same
and
way. That's
having
funny.
a tight knit, thing.
That's kind of why I started this show. Like I've done at the beginning of the pandemic. Before the pandemic, I had a 7-year radio show where people called from around the world. I did energy healing, but I need that connection with people, and I'm not the kind of person that goes out and makes friends because I'm kind of shy. But when I'm doing it in music, like group people,
Yeah.
I feel like confident because I know good music, so I can drum
Yeah.
circle. I dance and I play my saxophone.
Right.
And everyone knows me there. Like they all hug me and everything.
Right.
And with the show, I want to just make as many connections because I know I'm going to get a band together. Eventually, I'm going to start doing a tour.
You built
I
reputation.
need to build that connection with
Yeah.
people and get
Yeah.
as many knowing. And I was going to run for Congress and I got the paperwork in late. So after like this show takes off, maybe that'll help me run for Congress.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Whatever the
I'll get into something
so,
else.
do you have anything that's going to be next in your journey?
Well, I'm going to keep recording. Volume 2, Borderlands Volume 2 is going to be dropped in the fall. And then I'm already working on a third project called Midnight Train.
Oh, Midnight
girl with that
Train in
girl.
Georgia?
And a couple of the songs that Rose and I wrote will be on that album.
Cool. You wanted to end with one last song? I'll shut the window.
Sure.
So the lady doesn't. Just try to do it a little quieter because she.
I'll play a little.
Yay.
I'll play a little quieter.
Let's wake us up a little bit more.
So when I was like 16,
Woo.
I was down in Pacific Beach in front of the Grand Lifeguard Tower,
Oh yeah.
and I'm standing there. I'm looking out at the water, and I'm seeing this beautiful girl comes out of the water. Right? She's the most stunning creature I've ever seen. And she walks right up to me and kisses me full on.
Oh,
I've
wow.
never met this girl.
That's cool.
She just came out of the
I need to
water.
have some of that lately.
She just came out of the water and walked right up to me and kissed me. And we spent, her family was visiting from Prescott, Arizona. It was the summertime, real hot in Arizona. They're over here.
What year was this?
This would have been in 1970.
Wow. Okay, some history to that.
71, maybe.
That's pretty bold.
No,
I
70.
didn't know women were so bold.
I
I didn't know
I don't tell anyone my
I
secrets.
didn't think women were that bold back then. I thought that
Oh
was
no,
a good thing.
60s and 70s.
60s, 70s, girls were pretty bold.
They were like
Well, I don't
sexually
think- I
liberated.
don't even think
a
my
lot
mom-
more than now. Now they're like everyone says I'm a celibate. All the girls are now like I'm celibate. Everyone says that now. It's like the new
Yeah.
thing.
Right.
Back then they were like just free love,
They're like, hey, let's get to it. Anyway, so we spent folks were here for a week, and we just hung out every day for that week, and it was great. And then at the end of the week, she went back to Arizona, and I stayed here, and we never communicated since.
Oh, that's weird.
But I never forgot her. Her name was
Sure you
Kendall.
didn't.
Kendall.
Kendall.
Kendall from Prescott, Arizona.
Hey, like Kylie Jenner.
Oh, wait.
She's watching.
If anyone from Prescott, Arizona knows Kendall, just tell her to watch this video.
That's right, because I'm singing about her.
Hey.
Name of the song is Ocean Girl.
Ooh.
There's a warm and salty wind coming off the beach, and the sunlight on the water calls to me. I can open my eyes and see for miles and miles, and maybe reach out and touch the sky as it passes me by. Pass me by.
Pass me by. Ad-lib.
Here you come, walking right up to me. I knew that you were born to be wild and free. You are the one who holds me with your secret smile.
Oh yeah.
I know you would love me for a long, long while.
Oh yeah. Long time. Long time.
Love me long
Long while. Ocean girl, you could love me good.
Oh good.
Ocean girl, just like I knew you would.
You would. You would.
Ocean girl, can you stay a while? Stay a while. Maybe in a month or two, you'll be mine.
Here about a month. I've been here about a month.
Or maybe you'll walk away
Hey.
and wave goodbye.
See you later.
See ya.
See ya. Wave goodbye.
I don't have no chains to hold you down. I just want you near when you come around.
Gotta be a kangaroo.
Come around. Ocean girl,
Oh yeah.
you could love me good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ocean girl, just like I knew you would.
I would. I would. I would.
Ocean girl, can you stay a
I
while?
will. I will. I will.
Stay a while.
Stay a
Ocean
while.
girl.
Stay a while. Ad-lib.
Ocean girl.
Ocean girl.
Stay a while. Hey.
We picked up on your backup harmonies right
You got it,
away.
man. You guys were in it, man.
Okay, thank you guys. See you
Thank you,
Instagram
guys.
people. I
Thank
think
you.
my Facebook died or something.
Something died. If it died,
Well, because I ran out of battery juice. I
it
got-
Oh, that's
was
probably
meant
what
to die.
happened.
It was meant to die.
It was
Oh
meant
my.
to die.
Oh my.
I gotta stop this one too.
You do. You do.
my device.